we're back here, 4 people in a bottle. Unfortunately, it's just I'm going solo on this one here. We got Jermaine with me. It's my buddy here. For the drink today, we got some tequila. This is Corazon de Agave. So white tequila, blanco. For those of you that speak Spanish, don't speak Spanish, blanco, white.
Okay.
So we'll have this
I'm
shot.
about to say, that ain't, no, black is Negro, right?
Negro,
Negro.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll do this. We've been venturing into tequilas lately. Kind of want to see what these are like, and So as the saying goes, it's always arriba, abajo, al centro, pa dentro. Ooh. All right, welcome back. 4 people in a bottle. The guest with me today is my buddy Jermaine here. He is a long-time wrestling fan. So today for the episode we got for you guys, we're going to be talking about wrestling. So WWE, WCW, WWF, what are the other ones? TNA,
ECW,
AEW. Yeah.
You know,
all these out there.
all those 3 letters.
Yeah, the ones that were here, the ones that are still here, and the ones that have come and gone. So tell us about yourself. How did you get into wrestling? Because that's one of the things that we that's kind of how we connected. I met Jermaine through a mutual friend. Noticed he was always rocking some kind of nice T-shirt out here. He's got the Ric Flair T-shirt, and I was like, "Hey, you into wrestling? You like wrestling? Like, because I definitely, a little background for me. I grew up watching wrestling. The 90s, man, I was all about it. That was when it was WWF, the Attitude Era, DX, The Rock, Stone Cold, Kane, Mankind, all those. That's who I kind of grew up with.
Yep.
So how did you get into wrestling?
Well, you see, with me, man, I started a little bit earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not too much earlier because I'm only but a few years older than you. But for me, it started back in the 80s, man.
Okay.
Right around like 86, 87. Probably about 86. I was about like 5 years old or whatever. My dad was watching it. And I didn't know exactly what was going on or what the characters were. I just knew that this guy was good, that guy was bad.
Okay.
This guy was saying a lot of stuff about that guy.
Yeah.
So apparently at some point they were going to fight. And then they threw the belts in there and I was just like, oh, what's that?
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And my sister's first husband, he was an avid wrestling fan. Except he can go all the way back to like the 60s and 70s. Like he's right there with it.
So did he like me, right? Like I love soccer. And obviously I couldn't watch until like 90s, but I'll go back and look at some stuff from the 70s, the 80s. Was it kind of like that, or was it just like that was his time growing up?
That was his time growing up because he was born in the early 60s, right?
Okay.
So by the time I became acquainted with him, he was basically like a big kid too and stuff like that. Right. So like a lot of my early knowledge from about pro wrestling and stuff like that and comic books came from him. And we would just watch every show. Like back in the day, I grew up kind of broke, so we didn't have cable.
We all did. Yeah. Well, most of us, I guess.
We had the usual 4 stations, maybe 5, if you put the damn rabbit ears up the right way.
Yeah, you gotta turn the knob. Yeah, y'all know about that.
Exactly.
We're showing our age here.
And at least 2 of those 5 channels had pro wrestling on Saturday afternoons.
That's right.
And I would always watch those shows, and I just became enamored with the characters. Because back then, everybody was in WWF. Everybody was a superhero,
like the larger than life characters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted the more, I guess you could say stiffer, more everyman type of wrestling, you had the NWA. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You still had like big flamboyant characters and stuff like Flair and guys like that.
You're talking like most of them AWA and all that.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
AWA, NWA, yeah. So, but I immediately back then I watched a little bit more WWF than I did NWA or AWA, whatever.
Right.
And back then, man, you couldn't tell me nothing, man. My two favorites, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior.
Hey,
And
there you go.
and I'm not gonna lie, even though he got booed out of the arena recently, Hulk Hogan was a close second back in the day.
Get booed, right?
Yeah,
I saw that. I heard
hard.
that. So the Hulk Hogan thing, like I saw it from the company's perspective.
Yeah.
And he came out and I heard the pop and I'm like, oh, okay, it's pretty cool. But then there's like a video going around on YouTube where it's like the fans doing it and whatnot. Yeah. And yeah, he was getting booed. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep the personal and all that stuff out of the picture. I get it. I understand what's going on. I understand why people may say, you know what, I'm not gonna support this guy anymore, whatever. Yeah. But I think as a fan, this is just me speaking, as a fan, respect the how do I say this?
Respect the craft.
Respect the craft. Yeah. There you go. Now that's not to say that if there's some terrible stuff, then I probably, and there is a line to where I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me just not.
Yeah, you got to.
I just can't.
A lot of that. Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, and that's just me. So I know your knowledge of wrestling is definitely better than my knowledge of wrestling. Like I said, the '90s, the early 2000s. Even now, like I kind of tried to watch it a little bit, kind of still keeping up with it, not so much. There's a lot of stuff that I'm just like, I feel like it's repetitive. I, as a kid, am I the only one? Put it in the comments. Let us know. As a kid, I thought everything was real, as in,
I did too.
Like they were just two people that were clashing. They hated each other. They had a battle. I didn't realize now. There's some people that are gonna kill me in the comments. Okay, I'm not saying that it's not real. That they don't take the bumps. That they don't, they don't learn. Go to the wrestling school and learn how to, how to fall and do this and all that stuff. Right. If I'm misspeaking, please let me know. Okay, not trying to offend anybody.
They definitely will.
I'm not trying to offend the wrestling community. I appreciate it. I know it's an art. I know it's, I guess, in the words of Vince McMahon, an entertainment business.
It is. Very much.
But I thought it was like legit, real. And I'm like, what is this? I guess that's why I got my attention.
Well, let me ask you this. When you were a kid, what was your reaction the first time you saw somebody's forehead bleeding?
Holy shit, right? Like, can we curse? I don't know. We can. We can. But no, that was my first reaction. And my thing was more so, like, nobody put me on. Like, it's not like my brothers were watching it and they put me on, or my uncles or my dad or anybody else. With me, it was more so like flipping through channels. And I saw this and I'm like, oh, these people are fighting. Holy crap, what's going on? Oh my God. And I'm just like, for me, that did it. And that's where I was like, I was hooked. Man. Hands down, for me, the greatest wrestler ever. No disrespect to anybody else that came before or came after.
Gotcha.
Has to be The Undertaker.
Okay.
Has to be The Undertaker.
A lot of people will say that. A lot of people will say that. And he's definitely on my Rushmore.
Of course, the Rushmore, but like his, I think his ability to stay in character, and sell it that much.
Yes.
Definitely. Like when he was doing the whole Ministry of Darkness thing, the Phenom, I'm like, dude, this is some scary shit.
Yeah.
Like
when I was a kid,
what's going on?
I was like, is this motherfucker really dead? Like,
yeah.
Like, is he?
Am I actually
watching a zombie right now?
Yeah, the angles they had and they did, and I loved it. Like, and me and my brothers, we would always be wrestling, hanging out, trying all these moves. Kids, don't try this at home.
Please don't.
But we were dude, jumping off of the beds, you know, jumping off the couch. Hey, Jeff Hardy, Swanton bomb off, you know, doing all this stuff. But, you know, so for me, The Undertaker. Now, who would you say is your ultimate, hands down, the best of the best ever step in the squared circle?
If I'm talking best of the best overall, like great worker, great wrestler,
Okay.
believability of character, uh, he can make himself look good. He can make his opponent look good.
Yeah.
Always been safe. And can talk his ass off. I got to go with the man on my shirt, the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Nature Boy. Yeah, man. Nature Boy. Hey, he is, I think for me, because I saw him in the late 90s, early 2000s, where he was already much older, it was like,
it's kind of like, what is this dude doing? You know?
No, not that. Like, I mean, he could keep up, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you give him a mic, hey.
One of the best talkers ever, bro.
Wheeling, dealing, kit stealing, limousine riding, jet flying. That dude, you don't know how many times I've quoted that dude.
Yep.
Love it. He could definitely talk on the mic. But in ring, I was like, he's a little limited.
Well, okay, so I can see why you would think that, because Flair's style in the ring never changed over time. Like, he brought that old school '70s style with him.
I think he sold a little too much for me.
He did. He was
real, you know, the chop, and then he's running around, you know, and doing all like
the buckle bump. Yeah, he walks out from the buckle.
Yeah,
puts his arms up and he just falls on his face. I used to love that. Still do.
Love to see it. It's a classic, right? It's a classic. But for me, I'm like, the Undertaker's jumping over the ropes.
Yeah.
The Undertaker's taking an old school walking the ropes. You know.
Yeah, which was unheard of for a man his size back then.
Yeah, this dude is what, 7 foot?
6'10", about 300 something pounds.
Yeah. That dude is a beast.
Yeah. Freak athlete too.
You know who else is a beast? Like, as far as like, you could tell they stay in the gym is well, besides Jermaine. Kane.
Yeah.
But in towards the end of his career, they kind of like were doing all that corporate Kane type thing. Wasn't a fan of it. But in the the late 90s, when they first developed the Kane character, that dude was jacked, man.
He was.
It was a beast.
Man, I remember in one of Brock Lesnar's interviews, they asked him who the strongest dude was in the locker room. He said Kane. Without even thinking about it, he said Kane.
Okay.
He didn't put himself in there or nothing like that. He was like,
yeah, because Brock's a beast too.
The strongest dude that he had been in the ring with at that point in time.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Rock's a beast too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn. So when he said that, I was sitting up here thinking to myself, Brock Lesnar, you one of the strongest motherfuckers in the business right now. You said Kane is stronger than you, so he must be on point.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. I mean, I don't know. Either there, then also you got the world's strongest man, right? For those of you that don't know,
Mark Henry says Cesaro.
Mark Henry says
Cesaro.
I heard that. I heard about Cesaro, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, compared to Mark Henry, to Brock Lesnar, to
so
Undertaker, Kane, John Cena, like
or even Big E before he broke his neck.
Oh, Big E, yeah, I forgot about Big E.
Dude, they can bench.
Oh, so he broke his neck? Is that why he's?
Yeah, he was in a.
You gotta school me here on the new stuff.
I forget who he was in a match with. I think it was the New Day versus some tag team. Anyway, the bump that got him was he was outside the ring with this other dude, and the spot was supposed to be Big E was gonna run up and dude was gonna give him a belly to belly, and he was gonna land on his back. Well, something happened. I don't know if they mistimed it or miscommunication, whatever the case may be. Big E ran up, dude clinched him and threw him, but Big E didn't over rotate and land on his back. He landed right on the top of his head.
Damn.
So yeah, he's been out. He's been out ever since.
That's
So,
crazy. That's crazy. No, I mean, no, the injuries that happen there, they're serious injuries. I, I, I think the first injury I ever really saw, or like took in, was like, oh damn, actually they get hurt. Was Triple H. And you see it every time they do like a little promo thing. I think it was something to do with his knee.
Yeah,
Well,
his quad came detached.
yeah, that's what. Yep. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, and
I
I'm just like,
it was
holy
him
crap.
and Stone Cold versus Jericho and I want to say Jericho and Benoit.
Okay.
Yep.
So now that you mentioned that name, okay, let's touch base on that name.
All right.
Benoit.
Right.
As a human being, terrible things.
Can't mess with it.
Unimaginable.
Yeah.
Please, and if you don't know, do your homework.
Just Google it.
If you are under 18, probably just just don't. But if you're an adult, understand, and it's terrible. And we are not saying anything good about what happened.
Not at all.
But speaking about his career in the ring.
Yes.
In the ring, that guy was one of the most underrated wrestlers I have ever seen step in there.
Yeah, by far one of the greatest to ever do it. I mean, technical wizard. Freaking, he can high fly.
Yeah.
He can cut a decent promo. But the thing is, his performances in the ring were so intense that you believed in that character of the crippler.
So that's what I'm talking about, is in ring. Like, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he was too hot on the mic, but
none too much.
In the ring, his matches were incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
To snap those suplexes, those chops. Man, I remember he turned William Regal's chest purple by chopping him.
Yeah.
I was like, jeez, man. God. I can imagine that. And then he was one of those guys, he had that uniqueness, kind of like a Bret Hart, where you could put him in the ring with anybody and he can make both people look like $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bret Hart's another one. Yeah. He's great. So now that we're on that topic with Chris Benoit, we obviously got to talk about the other ones, right?
Yes.
Being Perry Saturn.
Yep.
And Eddie Guerrero.
Of course.
Dean Malenko.
Yes.
Dean Malenko. For me, I'm sorry, Dean Malenko, man of 1,000 holds, right?
Yep.
That's great and everything, but I never bought the product.
Yeah.
I couldn't buy into it.
He was never an exciting guy. He was
never
an exciting guy.
Yeah, to watch at least.
But skilled? Shit.
Very skillful.
You know what I'm saying?
Very skillful. Yeah. Turn you into a pretzel quick.
Exactly.
I think Perry Saturn, when he was in WCW,
he was great.
I thought he was fantastic. Great.
With Raven's Flock.
Yeah. Now, when he came over to WWE and they did that whole gimmick with him, I was like, what are we doing and why are we doing this?
You know why they did that? All right, so he had a match. I can't remember if it was a dark match or a house show. For those who don't know, the terms dark match and house show, basically non-televised events. Just matches that they put on for the audience in attendance.
Like live events?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was wrestling some dude, some enhancement talent or jobber. And
I know what you're talking
about. The dude, I forget if it was a hip toss or whatever. But anyway, he ended up slamming Saturn on his head. And Saturn got mad and whooped his ass for real in the ring.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I did hear about that.
About a week or two later, he's carrying around a mop.
Moppy. Yeah. Oh my god. They killed it.
Because they had to punish him somehow. They didn't want to let him go, so they just stuck him with that. So
he could have done good stuff. Could have been great, but
yeah.
I think that really took off with Eddie. I think he was the one that hit the lotto there with those four. Yep. I guess they were the Radicals, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did good stuff, man. To see a guy like that,
Yeah.
to where finally it's not somebody like huge jack like
Yep.
Hulk Hogan, right?
Yep.
Ultimate Warrior,
Yep.
The Undertaker, The Rock. I mean, The Rock was big. He wasn't as big as he is now,
Yeah.
right? Currently, but
Yeah.
he was still a big guy.
Yeah.
Those were like your main eventers, and then to see this guy go from cruiserweight to beating Brock Lesnar at
No Way Out.
SummerSlam or Survivor Series.
Nope, it was
No
No
way
Way
out.
Out.
No way. You're right. No way out in California, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That was incredible for me. And me being Latino, being Hispanic, I'm like, he put us on the map.
Yeah.
He put us on the map. That's awesome.
He was the first Latino world champion in WWE. And I forget how many years, because the last one.
I know there was one before. There were a few
last
before,
one
right?
Before that was Pedro Morales.
Yeah, you're right.
So in between Pedro Morales and Eddie Guerrero, you had a long time where there was no Latino world champions.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I misspoke, but like, again, for me, I hadn't seen Pedro Morales, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the only thing that I saw was Eddie.
So,
yeah, but that was definitely before our time.
Yeah.
I mean, but we do our history. We try to do our history.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eddie Guerrero, man, being him there, that was incredible. I thought their whole build up to that match, the whole what do they call it? Shoots, right? Is what they call it. Yeah. I thought that was incredible when he sits there or he gets into the ring. I think they're at SmackDown, and he's talking. Yeah, I was an addict. I am addicted. Blah blah blah. This and this. Oh my god! If you haven't seen it, please go watch it.
Great.
One.
You just recently tagged me in that, right?
Yeah. That one gets me, and I'm just like, damn, this is deep.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he did come from that place to where he was in a dark place and let go from the company, and they were like not sure what's going to go on with him, what they're going to do with him, and then he turned his life around, man.
Literally
trying to do everything right, and it was cut short, unfortunately. Was it 2005 or 7? 2005.
He was 39 years old, not too far from turning 40.
Yeah, I mean, that's a rough business, I guess. And he was. You saw when he had the heart attack in the ring.
Yeah.
He was wrestling JBL. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah,
nuts.
It really is, man. See, that's I mean, I guess I don't know how far you want to delve into this, but that's the price a lot of these guys pay for some of this stuff that they put into themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. There's no way in the world, let me put it to you like this. There's no way in the world an otherwise healthy person dies at 39 of a heart attack. You see what I'm saying? And fun fact, that his death was what got the WWE to institute their wellness policy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So
there were
you would think they would have done it after the steroid trial, but
that steroid trial was when because I actually watched one of the documentaries on it. Have you seen? Oh, sorry, I know we're going away from everything a minute. It's kind of all mumble jumbled in here, but
it's real complex though.
There's just so much.
Yeah.
Did you see the Vince McMahon Netflix?
Man, I got to episode 3. And then life just kind of took over. But I'm trying to get back into it because I want to finish it. I want to finish it.
It is crazy. And this was before they did this docuseries before everything came out to light and before he was being sued and being put on.
Hey. I remember when the allegations first came out, you hit me up like, yo, man, what's going on?
I did. The one guy I got to go to for the wrestling news, man.
Oh, man.
I was like, no, not Vinnie Mac. But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, you're a rich billionaire, like, where you think you want, where you think you can have whatever you desire type thing. Doesn't work like that, folks.
It doesn't.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
No matter how much money or fame you got, bro, you can't violate other people's rights and shit. Bro.
No, it's
not going
nuts.
down like that.
It is nuts.
And then some of the stuff that they had in that jacket about stuff that
what jacket?
I mean, like the legal jacket.
Oh, okay.
Like, stuff that him and various others had did and all this. I was just like, good gracious. But then, if you really think about it and you really, really look at it, the stuff he was doing on TV. Now, granted, that was for the show, but it wasn't too far fetched from some of these allegations that you know what I'm saying
that are being brought to him. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like, damn, life, art imitating life, or life imitating art. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I look. Let me say this about that.
All right.
Whatever you're into, you're into.
Yeah. If you like 1,000 bottles of baby oil, hey.
That's another one we gotta get on. But we need whoever's involved in whatever is going on to be okay with it or acknowledge it or understand that yes, this is what's going on. I'm cool with this, whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, so whatever you're into, you're into. Yeah. Hey, do it behind closed doors, I don't care.
Yeah, it's not illegal to be a freak. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't. But here's my thing. You know what? I'm not gonna get into that part of it. I'm not gonna get into that part of it because if I get into that part of it, I'm gonna get killed.
We're gonna jump down a huge rabbit hole.
It is a huge rabbit hole. But again, so whatever you're into. Be you, but make sure everybody's aware in both parties or 3 parties or 5 parties or 6, whatever parties. Yeah. Make sure they agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Consent is the jam.
That's the best.
That's what it is.
Advice we can give.
That's what it is.
On that.
Ain't no forcing. Ain't no coercion. Hey, you feel like doing such and such? Yeah. All right. Cool. No. All right.
Yeah. Hey, in the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's all I got to say about that.
Exactly.
All right. So
bottom line. Now,
hitting on Stone Cold, and that's the bottom line, right?
Right.
You a Stone Cold guy, or are you The Rock?
Man, you know what? I'm gonna like this. I'm gonna give you an umbrella answer and then a definitive one. Okay. I like and respect both dudes. Both of them. Of
course, you got
top of the card. Both of them. Carried the business and industry on their backs for a relatively, when you really break it down, a relatively short time frame.
It was,
but that time frame was so influential. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Respect both of them. One of the best rivalries in the business I've seen since probably Bret Shawn or maybe Flair Sting. Right?
Yeah.
Which one did I like more? I gotta go with Steve Austin. I gotta go with Steve Austin.
Hey, let me tell something to this jabroni, okay? The Rock is The Rock, and The Rock is the man, okay? Hey, Stone Cold, fantastic. He's great. Love him. Respect both of them. Respect their art, their hard work, what they did for the business, everything about it. But I was a Rock guy.
Yeah,
had to be. And it was me and my brother. So my older brother that's closest to me in age, right? He was, when we would wrestle, he was Stone Cold, I was The Rock. You know, I walk around, doing the whole people's eyebrow thing and all of that, and the stutter kick, whatever you want to call it, that he was doing at that time.
Shake his calf out first.
Yeah, shaking the calf out. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. He
would always wear, if you remember correctly, he would always wear those like kind of Garter boots that had the calf hanging out.
Yeah, he would. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was like, man, where do you get those from, man?
Now, The Rock didn't have an easy career though, right? Like,
no, he didn't.
When he first started out, excuse me, they wanted him to be the face, baby face, right? Yep. So for those of you that don't know, baby face, good guy, heel is a bad guy, all right? And he was getting booed out the building. Yep. I mean, die Rocky, die. Yep. All this, it was just so bad. He was a third generation superstar?
His grandfather and his father. Yep. Third.
And at that point, he turned it and was like, you know what?
Yep.
Screw y'all too.
Yep. And see, the crazy thing is, man, from I'm to understand, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Please do, because I actually, like learning new things about the business. And
absolutely.
This, that, and the third. But from what I'm to understand, Vince and the guys, they noticed that he was getting all this heat, even though they were trying to cram rock down people's throats and stuff. Back then, of course, Rocky Maivia, right?
Yep.
And it came down to it. I think it was Pat Patterson. They came up to either Rocco or Vince, and he was just like, "Hey, why don't we just turn the kid heel? See how that works." Like they're already booing him and stuff like that. Let's lean into it. Let's turn the kid heel.
I mean, that makes sense, definitely.
Yeah. Then he joins the Nation. They put him on the mic. Then you find out he can actually talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because before that, he had these blue chipper type of promos. Oh,
I hated his outfit.
I'm just so happy to be here and blah, 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 blah. Saying that old generic shit, right?
Yeah,
that every good guy says. But then he joins the Nation, starts wearing those loud ass shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starts talking on the mic. And you're like, man, this dude is actually likable.
Yeah. I mean, he could definitely rock it on the mic. I think that's where he shined best. Not taking away from his in-ring talent. I think he shined best on the mic. Yeah. He's an entertainer. He does great.
He's another freak athlete too, bro.
Yeah.
He's a heavyweight that moves like a guy half his size. Or at least he did back then.
So explosive with it. Yeah, definitely. Now, okay. Now the people. Okay. If you were to take a finishing move from The Rock or Stone Cold, who would you take it from?
Okay, so again, I got to go with Stone Cold only because I want to oversell the stunner.
Ah, there it is. There it is. There it is. You see this jabroni picking on The Rock right here.
Because I love no. Rock has the best stunner sell ever. The first time
I would say the best ridiculous oversell of it.
Yes, but the way he does it.
Oh God!
If you're a kid
back,
watching,
push up.
If you're a kid watching, you would think that the stunner was the most devastating move. Like it looks like he stepped on a landmine. You know what I'm saying? You're
right.
That's true. The first time I see them sell it like that at WrestleMania 15 in their title match, and he took the back bump, did the damn back roll, and his feet actually got caught up in the rope on the other side.
Yeah.
Me and my boy Eric, we were watching that at our good friend Mike's house. Rest in peace to Mike. We were watching that, and I looked at Eric, and he looked at me. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is that?" And Eric was like, "That's the most awesome thing I've seen on this entire card."
Really?
Then he kept on selling it like that, and you know what it was, right?
They made a bet between each other. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, if he could sell the stunner in a way that was so ridiculous that it made Stone Cold broke, Stone Cold would get him a case of beer.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I heard about that. I don't know, man. I probably would have been like, dude, come on, this guy's killing me with that sell.
And I'm not
he
gonna
stayed
lie.
in character though, right? Like every time.
He did. He did. And I'm not gonna
of course,
lie.
they're professionals.
The type of dude I am, I would try to oversell a rock bottom if I got one. I would try to find a way to turn a simple back bump into something explosive.
But is that his finisher?
Oh, well,
yeah. There you go. For those that don't know, okay, this is a Stone Cold fan right here, the Rock fan right here.
See,
okay?
That's another debate in and of itself because he's used both as finishers. He's used the People's Elbow and he's used the Rock Bottom. Now, admittedly, he's actually won more world titles with the Rock Bottom than the People's Elbow.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take your word on that.
The People's Elbow is the one that people remember a lot more.
Right.
It was the People's Elbow.
People's Elbow, hey, man.
He took off that pad and, you know what I'm saying?
He's gone. I'm like,
he did on Davey Boy.
An elbow on this? What's going on?
On the episode of SmackDown, he did one on.
You talking about when they did his ass dirty and they put him on the pile of shit?
No,
David
that was another one. That was funny too.
Oh God, it did him dirty, man. Come on.
No,
British Bulldog.
That was one where Rock came in, did a run in, and British Bulldog was in the ring. British Bulldog came at him. Rock put him down. Did the people's elbow on him, but he bounced off of the one ropes, ran over to the other side, bounced off the other ropes, and then he came over to deliver the elbow. He was wearing like these damn penny loafers or something.
That was when he slid.
And he actually slid into it.
Yeah.
Then he
I know what
dropped
you're
the
talking
elbow.
about.
I was like, yo.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. He's wearing like a loud ass shirt, right? Yeah. He's got the chain, and then he comes out. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He slid, came to a complete stop, and then he dropped the elbow. I was like, yo, that was dope.
That was iconic. Yeah. That was a good one. So, what was the first pay-per-view you watched? If you can remember.
On television or
just anywhere. First wrestling pay-per-view.
All right, so the first pay-per-view that I saw on television was Starrcade. I want to say 91.
WCW guy. Yeah. You see? He's a WCW guy.
Yeah. That was just all right. So, and that was just coincidental because I just happened to be in a place that was playing it at that time. I was like, let's see, 91. I was about 10 years old.
Oh, so you're not a true WCW fan?
Oh no, I am. The first pay-per-view that I've seen live, like I'm actually in the crowd, was
okay, in the crowd. Yeah, I didn't even.
It was one of the WWE Judgment Day pay-per-views. They did it over here at the
Charlotte?
PNC.
Oh, PNC. Okay.
But back then it was the Raleigh Entertainment and Sports Arena still. They did that over there, and I was in the crowd for that, and that was pretty dope. First pay-per-view ever. And then my second one was a WWF pay-per-view, Survivor Series 2001. It was in Greensboro.
Yeah. They did quite a few here in Greensboro, and the PNC Arena, like you're saying. I never got the chance to go. Would have loved to have gone to see the whole Attitude Era.
Yeah.
That would have been great for me. But I have been to a couple of in-house shows, live shows. Taking the kids a few times. Never been to like a Raw or a SmackDown. Would have loved to have had that experience, but I just did it. And I think now, with the wrestlers, I kind of fell off and don't know who's. I mean, I still have some thought about it, but for right now, I'm not like, oh, I know exactly who that is, who's coming out next. Oh, this music hits, I know who that is. Because that's how I was, dude. And I was, you remember the Monday Night Wars? WCW and WWF. I was flipping the channels back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
Were you a WCW guy or WWF? Leave it on WWF. Don't change that channel. Or were you like me, flipping back and forth?
I was that smart ass to try to do the picture-in-a-picture thing on television, where you have one of them up in that little square and shit.
Picture-in-a-picture
on the TV.
I know. I mean, I know what you're talking about. How do you do that on the TV? I didn't.
So we had one of those.
When you're rich, you're rich.
Hell no. My dad probably got that shit on sale or some shit. But because it's funny too.
Like a dual screen.
We mentioned no. It was like one TV screen, but you can actually program this small freaking square.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So we still have one of those big ass TVs with the ass on the back, the heavy ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
People from our area
they don't come like that.
We're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I tried doing that, but I was like, man, I can't tell if this dude is taking a bump or is he walking down the ramp. So I would go back and forth, especially at that time.
Yeah,
because
it was hot. It was hot.
You had NWO on one side. I loved NWO. You had DX on the other side. I love DX.
Yeah.
Especially the old school Shawn Michaels Triple H DX, when they were really, really pushing the envelope.
I got in a little bit later. I do remember some of that. I went back and watched some. I was more when X-Pac got into the picture.
Yeah.
X-Pac, Road Dogg,
that was
New Age Outlaws.
That was after Shawn retired the first time.
Yeah.
Because his back was tore up.
Right.
Fun fact. The same type of accident that broke Shawn's back also broke Rick Rude's back. All right, so Shawn
Really?
Shawn was wrestling at the Royal Rumble against Taker in a casket match. Shawn took this bump where Taker high back bodied him out of the ring.
Yeah.
Shawn,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like his lower back hit the edge of the coffin, and it basically broke his back. Rick Rude in WCW was wrestling. I think it was Sting. Same type of bump. He came over the top rope. The lower part of his back hit the edge of the damn stage that the ring was on. So similar incidents. Basically retired two guys. Now Shawn did eventually come back, but that was it for Rick Rude.
Yeah, because I thought he was young, and I was like, "What happened to this guy? Where'd he go?" Like,
yeah, Rick was only in his late 30s when he had to retire.
Yeah,
that's another dude, very underrated talent, one of the best heels and one of the best workers in the business, Ravishing Rick Rude. If you can make the Undertaker, not the Undertaker, if you can make the Ultimate Warrior look like a technical wizard in the ring, you're good. You are great.
Stop it. Stop it right now. Scott, I don't know if he's just saying that because I got the Ultimate on my shirt. I don't know if he's just saying that.
I love the Warrior. I really do. And as a kid, I thought it was the greatest thing since
Come in and he's shaking the ring and he's running at full speed.
But when you get older, and you know the look for in that ring, it's like, man, he really couldn't wrestle. You know
That's true. I would agree with that.
But his character was off the chain though, and his promos, none of them made sense. But they sounded cool. So
you saw that one promo where he's like, I don't know what he's on. I don't know what's going on. His intensity level is at like 2,000.
Yeah.
And he's like spinning around, and he gets like caught up in like a rope or something. You know what I'm talking about? What is it that he gets?
That was the.
What is?
That was one of the Survivor Series promos. He's walking around with some tape. And
he's
slapping it around everybody.
And he's got a couple other guys with. Yeah, he's got a couple other guys with him. And then by the end of it, they're all like almost taped together, and I'm just like, what is going on here? What?
He's just walking around with a roll of tape.
Just having fun with it.
Wrapping people up with it for no reason. Yeah, man.
Having fun with it.
Cocaine and steroids are a hell of a drugs, man.
And I guess back in the day, they were on some stuff.
They were.
They were. Okay, so WCW guy, I gotta ask, the WCW guy, WWF, ECW, or are you a TNA guy, or just a whole independent, a whole nother independent that I don't know about?
Man,
let me know.
To be quite honest, I'm that guy that when I become a fan of something, I become a fan.
Stick with it.
Of as many facets of that thing as I can.
Okay.
Right? For example, when it comes to like say comics, I always get do you like Marvel or DC? Dude, I like comics.
Okay. So so here you go. So whatever true wrestling fan,
right.
You don't care what company it is.
Yeah.
You admire the art, you appreciate the art.
Exactly.
And that's what you
Exactly. Don't get me, every company has their things about it that is better than the other companies and stuff like that. Just like every company has their downfalls and stupid decisions and whatever the case may be.
Right.
It all fits under the same umbrella. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's the best way I can put it.
All right. Well, since we can't choose there, can we choose? Can we let the listeners know? Were you a NWO black and white guy, or were you a NWO Wolfpack black and red guy?
Okay, so I like the Wolfpack. I like the Wolfpack's roster. However, that red hot black and white express is where it's at. When Hogan came out and he dropped that leg on Savage, and the fans didn't know what to think because he had never turned heel before. I was just like, "Yo, really?" And I mean,
the heel turn.
Yeah.
For when they were talking about the third man.
Yep.
The NWO. Okay.
And when Hogan got on the mic and they were throwing big gulps at him and hot dogs and all this other stuff, and he said, "Well, you can call this the New World Order of Wrestling, brother."
Yeah.
That was it for me. That was it.
Love
I was like, yo. And then they came out to the porno music playing in the background and the friggin' the dang on shredded t-shirts and Scott Hall with the hey yo. Man, it didn't get no better than that.
Was that Scott Hall or was that Jermaine? Bro, that is I love that. Hey, rest in peace, Scott Hall.
Scott Hall. Yeah, man. But yeah. The only thing
that was a good one.
I feel like
the bad guy, Razor Ramon.
The bad, yeah.
You know?
The only thing that I didn't like about NWO was Bischoff ran with it way too long. And he's even admitted that. You know.
Ran like the whole thing, or that he actually ran with it, like because you know how he became part of it as well.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like keeping the NWO together as long as they did.
How long was it run?
I mean, dude, they did that back in what, like late '97, and it spanned all the way up into 2001. But by the time 2001 came around,
it had nobody.
It was pretty much a joke. Like, you know, you had like Stevie Ray and like a couple other dudes, and Bret Hart led the group toward the end because he was the world champion. But Bret was probably the best thing about it at that point in time, and that was only because they didn't know what to do with Bret when he came to WCW. You know,
they what a waste. Yeah. What a waste they did with that. I'm a huge fan of Bret Hart. Yeah, Bret Hart's fantastic. He's got to be my number 2.
Yeah. Then they put him in the ring with Goldberg's clumsy ass, and I say that.
What happened?
Because I like Goldberg, but
yeah, I'm a fan of Goldberg too. But what happened, dude? Good grief! That is the kick, right? The kick to the head.
Yeah, he kicked him twice.
He did it twice.
Yeah. So the first time he kicked him, I think Bret caught the brunt of it on his hand. But the second time, Goldberg kicked straight past his hand and caught him right in the damn temple.
Damn.
That was it for him. And Bret should have did. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Bret should have did the right thing. After sustaining that kick, he should have went and got checked out. But Bret kept working. He kept working matches and stuff like that with a damn, I think it was like a grade 2 or a grade 3 concussion or something.
Oh, he's a workhorse. Yeah, of course. Because it's not in him to not work.
Yeah. He was one of those dudes from back in the day. But yeah, that's what put him out. Now, I'm not going to lie. I do believe that it was an accident. Because realistically, if Goldberg wanted to hurt Bret Hart or anybody else, Bret wouldn't have got up.
Yeah.
Let's be real. You know, but still. And it just shows people that, you know, thinks that pro wrestling is all fake and this, that, and the third. Accidents happen.
It ain't.
And see, here's my thing, man. Every time I get greeted with the whole wrestling is fake thing, it's like, dude, people don't die in things that are fake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There have been people that have literally died in that ring trying to entertain guys like us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I ain't go, you know, I ain't gonna dive into that too much. It's just that, you know, and I know a couple of independent wrestlers and stuff like that for CWF Mid-Atlantic and stuff like that. And I've seen, yeah.
Okay.
I've been to their shows live and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, to see it firsthand, even in the indie level, it's just like, dude, these guys,
they're taking hits.
They're taking hits and they're all about it.
Yeah.
They're all about it. They genuinely love what they do. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And that speaks volumes because you're in a profession where you're taking damage every night. There's
Give them their respect, of course. Yeah.
You know, so
I don't know. So, who's on your Mount Rushmore for WCW?
WCW. Mm-hmm. Oh man, this is easy. All right, so WCW.
People that came, that left, because we all know. I think Triple H was at WCW at one point, right?
Yeah.
And then he left.
Yeah. Man,
if you want. I personally don't think he's on the Mount Rushmore for WCW.
No, not at all. He kind of came and went.
Maybe he could be in WWF. He did fantastic things in WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it.
Somebody has to like those matches in WCW he had with Alex Wright, the dancing German kid. Yeah.
I don't know about that one, but may have to do it, I guess.
I was an Alex Wright fan too, by the way, but.
So, Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore, what? It's 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore for WCW. Of course, I'm wearing one of them. That's boy Ric Flair. Gotcha. He's up there.
Okay.
You got to go with the franchise. Sting.
Yes.
He's on there.
Of course.
Let me see. Now I got to do a little deep diving now. Got Flair, Sting. You know, I want to say Dusty, but Dusty doesn't belong there. I feel like I will put Dusty on the NWA.
NWA. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not Dusty.
That's respectable. Yeah.
My next two might make you raise an eyebrow, but I got explanations for both of them. Vader and Ron Simmons.
Stop it.
I put Ron on the list because of the fact that just like that Eddie Guerrero moment was for you, when he beat Vader back in '92, became the first Black World Heavyweight Champion.
Okay.
That was my Eddie Guerrero moment right there.
And
I was, I was 11 years old and I saw that shit on that beat up ass TV.
Really?
That we had in the living room.
Yeah.
And that shit blew my mind. I was like, what? Really?
Okay.
And then when all the guys came out the back and they picked him up and did the whole celebration thing, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Okay.
Then in fact, I'm not gonna lie, I have met Ron Simmons before in real life over there at the PNC back then again, Raleigh Entertainment and Sports Arena.
This was when he was with WCW or WWF?
He was with WWF at this point.
So you would have been Farouk?
No. This is past that. At this point in time, he was a road agent. He was actually going by Ron Simmons at this time.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and give you this story, and then we can move on. So yeah, it was at one of the first house shows they had at the arena back a little bit after it first got built and opened and stuff. WWF had a house show over there. That weekend, I also met John Cena at an autograph sign and got my spinner belt signed.
Spinner belt. We're gonna talk about the belts in a minute.
Yeah. All right. So moving forward, I got up to get one of those damn $10 beers that they sell back then.
Sounds about right.
You know, back then when I was still drinking. By the way, for those that are curious, these are non-alcoholic.
There you go.
Full disclosure. Anyway, so I get up to get one of those damn $8 beers and one of those damn $12 hot dogs. And I noticed that while I was doing that, there was a small group of kids beside me, and they just were fixated on something towards the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting up here, I get my stuff, I look over, and I actually have the spinner belt on my shoulder, right?
Yeah.
I look over, what are these kids looking at? Ron Simmons was over there with a couple of other kids. And he was like taking pictures and shaking hands and stuff.
Oh, no way.
I was like, man, ain't no way in hell. I got to go over there.
Yeah.
So I went over there with my belt, right? And imagine my tall ass standing behind this group of like 3 kids in front of me. So I wait my turn. They get their, snapshots and autographs and stuff, and they move on. So Ron looks at me and he goes, man, you must think you the world champ. Because he saw the belt on me. Man, I turned into a little girl. I was like, nah, I'm just trying to be like you, Mr. Simmons. He's like, what you talking about, kid? I said, I'm talking about when you beat Vader back in '92. Became the first Black World Heavyweight Champion.
That's crazy.
He was like, trying to make me feel old or something, kid. I was like, no, sir, not at all.
No way.
So then he looks at me, he was like, you old enough to remember that? I was like, yes, sir. I was probably about 11 years old. But yeah, I remember. Both me and my dad watched it. It was one of my fondest memories. And he goes, damn.
Yeah. Thank you.
He did that, man. He did it. He did it. He said damn.
He said it to me.
So then I had one of them old ass, like, one of those old school Samsung flip phones.
I
was like, hey, Mr. Simmons, can I get a picture with you? He was like, yeah. Come on over here, kid. Hey. That was just some random kid walking by. Ron Simmons goes, hey, get over here. Hey, hold this, take this picture of me and him, all right? And this kid just like, okay.
That's nuts.
So I had the belt in front of me at first. He was like, no. Hey, kid, hold on. If you go wear it like the champ, you got to wear it like the champ. Throw that thing over your shoulder.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So I threw it over my shoulder, and he was at my right, and he was pointing at me, and I was just cheesing. I had like a Kool-Aid smile.
Yeah.
He snapped the kid snapped the picture. I was like, man, thank you, Mr. Simmons. You don't know what this means. He's like, anytime, kid. Now go enjoy the show.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
And just to carbon date this a little bit more, I threw that picture on my MySpace.
MySpace. There it is. There it is, folks. MySpace. There it is. You know, hey, we're going to shut this whole thing down right now. Let's go.
Everybody's like, oh, man, they are some fossils for real right now. But yeah.
It's nuts. I got to see that picture. I got to see that
I
picture.
got to see if I can find it.
Yeah.
I haven't logged on to MySpace in like 15 years.
Forever. Yeah. No, I think the excuse me. I think the only wrestlers that I've ever met have been Jeff Hardy,
Yep.
Matt Hardy,
Yep.
Carolina
boys right there.
The Total Package,
Lex Luger.
Lex Luger, for those of you that know, yeah. What's it? And Big Papa Pump,
Scotty Steiner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big Papa Pump, yeah. And they got we got their photographs signed. And oh my God, no! How could I forget? The hardcore legend,
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley. Yeah, Mick Foley.
My buddy Sam, rest in peace to Sam. He met Mick Foley at airport, I think in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And he texted me after he met him. He says, hey man, I just met Mick Foley at the airport. I was like, get out of here.
No shit. Yeah.
And he sent me a picture of him and Foley. I was like, no way, that is him. I was like, what is he like in real life? And he was like, yeah, Foley's super nice, just like he is on television.
Yeah,
like,
super nice. Okay.
And another buddy of mine, my buddy Kurt, who I went to high school with, he met R-Truth at a gym in Charlotte.
Really?
Yeah. He said the Truth was a real down brother too, man.
Yeah, Truth is great. I liked his skits that they did with him.
Yeah.
That was great. He always put a smile on my face, make me laugh. It was great.
You ever heard of a wrestler called EC3?
Yeah.
I met him.
Met him as well.
Yeah, I met him at the Anytime Fitness in what used to be the Anytime Fitness in Briar Creek. It's an ABC store now. Go figure. But I met him there because they were doing a show in Durham, and he just so happened to be at the gym at the same time I was at.
He probably did. He was probably the show that I went to.
He probably did.
Yeah, because I remember going to go see that show in Durham.
Brodus Clay was at that show too.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, dude! And speaking of which, the night of the CM Punk fight, CM Punk's first fight in the UFC, I went to Hooters with a couple of my buddies to see that. Inside the Hooters at the airport, I shit you not. Fandango, Aiden English, Jason Jordan, and Dolph Ziggler.
No.
Yep, I got pictures with all of them. Aiden English was drunk off his ass. I was like, hey man, can I get a picture with you? He could barely keep his eyes on me. He was like, hey man, come on.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Oh God.
But no, they were all cool too, man. They were all cool too.
Yeah, no, good guys. I thought, speaking of Dolph Ziggler, since you just hit on that, did you get the vibe? Like, I got the vibe that they were trying to make a Billy Gunn with him.
A little bit. Yeah.
A Mr. Ass.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
He had the famouser. He was doing a lot of his mannerisms. I don't know if that was him or something they told him to do, but yeah.
He did the famouser. I thought the blonde hair. I mean, I don't know if he's a natural blonde or what.
I don't think he is.
But the whole blonde hair and the blonde long short hair type thing, I was like, they're literally trying to just recycle characters. What's going on here?
Pretty much.
I think at that point, that was when I was like,
but see,
what's going on?
So,
not that they don't get recycled. I'm sure they do.
I was just about to say, since we crossed over to the subject of character recycling,
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a big proponent in saying that John Cena was kind of like a modernized Hulk Hogan. Granted, Hulk Hogan never did the rap thing.
No. Whoa.
Think about
Hold,
it.
hold, hold,
Bright colors.
hold. Let's go back. Let's take it back. Let's take it back. You're talking about John Cena technically being a recycled character of Hulk Hogan. But you remember when he came out?
Yeah.
The whole rapping thing and all that was
like
his thing. So you're talking
Hogan
the
never did that.
second phase?
I'm talking about this.
Or technically would be his third phase then, right?
Yeah, the big face turn that he never went from. Because think about it, when he turned him face that last time, basically the brunt of his run, he never went heel again, right? Look at some of the things that he was doing in principle, right?
To the little kids.
Yeah, playing it up to the kids.
Yeah.
He wasn't saying say your prayers and take your vitamins or anything.
Right.
But what did they replace that with? Never give up.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
100%. Just like Hogan back in the day, working with kids on athletics and stuff like that. What they replace that with Cena, the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Make-A-Wish, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So very similar. That's the reason why I say I don't want to say they recycled.
I can agree with that.
I don't want to say they recycled Hogan into Cena, but it's kind of like Cena was a modernized version of Hulk Hogan in those aspects.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I can see that. Definitely can see that. Speaking of Cena, I think Cena, just me, just my opinion. Correct me in the comments if you don't agree, you disagree. Yeah. Let me have it. Tell me how crappy I am. Tell me how much you hate me. Die Rocky die, right?
Yeah, me too.
John
Jermaine John.
Right, but I think he will go down as the greatest product that the WWE produced.
He definitely, you know what? I can't argue with that. I think that he will too.
There's people that don't watch wrestling that are, and maybe it's just because it's the time right now and it's in our time, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure back in the day, people knew who weren't wrestling fans were like, oh, I know Hulk Hogan.
But here's the thing too. It's also partly because wrestling has so much crossover appeal. You know, look at all the guys that became big names in the business, went off into other facets of entertainment, even if it was just temporary, right? I mean, you got Rock, obviously. You got Batista. You got Stone Cold doing little stuff here and there. You got John Cena on Peacemaker now.
Right. He was on Daddy's Home too as well. Yeah.
Even Undertaker did a episode of Lonesome Dove back in the day.
Did he?
Yeah, way back in the day.
Huh. I'm about to look that up.
Hell, Kevin Nash was Super Shredder in the Turtles movie.
He was, yeah, he was. That was a fun fact I learned. Me being a Ninja Turtles fan, yeah, I found out that he was Super Shredder. When I saw that, them credits roll by, people had told me, I was like, nah, that can't be. Saw the credits, yeah, there it is. Yep. Super Shredder is his name.
Yeah, there's so much crossover appeal because people oftentimes forget that pro wrestling is a form of entertainment and it is big business. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that Vinnie Mac. I think that
Vinnie Mac, you done did some things, Vinnie Mac.
Old dirty Vince. I think he was a genius in trying to branch, you know what I'm saying, other forms of entertainment into professional wrestling, like bringing in the celebrities for WrestleMania and stuff like that. You know, yeah. I mean, the dude is a dirtbag in real life, no doubt, but
dude is a marketing genius, though. Marketing genius.
He is.
You know, if you want to talk about business and
really
money,
shitty person, though.
He'll make you some money, but I don't know if you're inviting him over to the barbecue. No, you know,
he is not coming to the. I don't care how many do-rags he wears. He's not coming to the cookout.
He is not invited to the cookout. He ain't invited to the carne asada. All right, like let's get it straight.
Can you imagine that shit? You just roll up in a do-rag,
bro.
that your sister over there?
Oh my
Ain't
God.
introduce us. It's like, no, bitch, you gotta go, bro.
Vinny, let's
go. I told you to chill. You gotta go now.
Let's have a conversation outside real quick. Yeah. In his favorite words, you're fired.
You're fired.
All right, so so talking Vinnie Mac, I gotta do it. I might get hell for going here, but we'll see. Favorite diva.
Oh, damn. All right.
Any company, any whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. Can I tell you where it started for me?
Yeah, of course.
I think it started this way for a lot of pro wrestling fans who are males. It started for me with Miss Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth, of course.
Yeah. See, people didn't
Classiest.
understand. People didn't understand.
She was classy.
Yeah. People didn't understand why Randy was tripping when dudes would get too close. I was like, well, look at her.
Have you seen her? Yeah.
She bad.
Yeah. For sure.
That's where it started. Now, my favorite diva all around. I hate to sound generic, but I got to go with Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus. That's a good one. That's a great one. Fantastic.
It was in between. In my head, it was in between her and Sable, like Prime Sable.
All right, Brock Lesnar gonna kick your ass. Hey, it was him, Brock. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Did you ever hear?
Gonna put you through that fucking wall right there.
Did you ever hear about when Mark Merrow found out that Brock and Sable were dating?
I heard something about it.
All right, so I heard him tell this story. He goes, so he had been at home for a while and stuff like that, and him and Sable had been having problems and stuff, and then he catches wind that she's been hanging out with one of the boys, and he was just thinking, man, the level of disrespect, man.
I'm gonna kick his ass.
Blah 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 blah. Yeah, he was like, yo, I gotta go fix this. So he said he went to one of the damn shows that they were doing, right? And he said that he walked up. Lo and behold, Sable standing with Brock Lesnar, and he said, "Man, I'm gonna tell you like this. I have never felt the term forgiveness any quicker than I did right there." He said he walked up on him. He was like, "Hey, Brock, how you doing, man?"
Hey, look, let me tell you this. I'm not advocating for violence. But if that's me, you either got two options. You could either go that route, or you're gonna have to shank somebody because you ain't beating him.
You ain't going toe to toe with him.
I'm gonna tell you that right now. Mark Merrow. I'm sure Mark Merrow was a big guy as well. I mean,
and he was a legit boxer.
Yeah,
Brock was a undefeated NCAA Division I heavyweight champion.
Yeah. Now, if he were to say, let's if we're gonna throw down, let's throw down in only boxing. I'm sure Mark Merrow gets him. But street fighting, anything goes. Like, and he's gonna tackle you down, and you know.
If Lesnar would have grabbed that man, that would have been it.
I mean, okay, so generic with Trish Stratus.
I say generic because damn near anybody from that era said that. But I mean, she was bad. I'm sorry, and she could wrestle.
Stop it. She was bad. I'll get it, but hands down, best diva, or whatever you want to call it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this back. I'm not gonna go too modern with it. Tori Wilson.
Respect.
Tori Wilson.
Respect.
Of course. Tori Wilson was something to look at.
Bro, I was looking at her in WCW.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
She was coming out with Kidman.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this lady's with Kidman.
Yeah.
I might have a chance. I mean, no offense, Kidman, but you weren't, Hulk Hogan or Kevin Nash where you're, huge. I'm like, okay, this guy looks like an average guy like me. An average guy,
I mean, he can flip and stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah. Kidman, hey. Love you, Billy. Like, you know.
Sit up here watching Nitro hating on the man.
Okay, so let's cover the whole diva thing. So, as far as era, what was your favorite era? And this could be for, sure, I guess let's call it for all of wrestling.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say just WWE, but let's call it all of wrestling. What's your favorite era?
For me, favorite era, I got to go with the golden era. Only because that's what.
When?
I would say that era in between.
Excuse me, which is when?
I think most of the time it's categorized in between 75 and 85.
Okay.
You know, now granted, I had to go back and watch a lot of the stuff in the 70s because I mean, shit, I was born in 81. But yeah, well, Paul the Young was out there. I'm 400 years old. It's all good. I just drink a lot of water. But yeah, like I'm talking like that era where you had guys like Holly Race and Dusty Rhodes, stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I feel like that right there between the companies, even
that was a
hell,
different type of wrestling,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
It was a bit stiffer. They protected the business. They protected kayfabe.
Uh-huh.
So what you saw on television, cats actually thought was real. Heels, and it was so thick. Heels didn't travel with baby faces. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. That's when I kind of felt like the pro wrestling reality wasn't as gray as it became. Right?
Okay.
Back then, we thought it was black and white. We thought, oh shit, yeah, dude got his leg broke.
Yeah.
We didn't know that he was just doing a really good sell job, right?
Yeah.
Because it looked so convincing, and the way they hyped it, the announcers and
So
stuff.
so
stuff
that's
like that.
why you're saying the golden age.
So
golden era.
It seemed more real back then because that's the way they kept it.
Would you have wanted it to stay like that?
You know, for the generations that are coming up watching wrestling now,
yeah,
yes, because that's the way we came up.
That's how I fell in love with it.
Yeah, we literally believed in all the characters, all the storylines. We believed that what the announcers were saying was basically like wrestling gospel in a sense.
JR and the King, baby. JR and the King. Yeah. Michael Cole, you're that B team. Let's get out there. Michael Cole,
did you know
you're great, but you're great. But I grew up with JR and the King.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Cole, he carried the torch after them, you know. And hey, we'll give you your respect. You
On one side, the first announced team that I listened to for the WWF was Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. The PA side, you had Jim Ross back then.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh, yeah, right. He did.
Jim basically worked everywhere.
Yeah.
Let me put it like this.
The guy's like a $2 hooker. He's here. He's there. Yep. He's here. He's been with them all. Yep. Been with them all.
It was Jim Ross.
We love you, JR.
Yeah. It was Jim Ross and Gordon, a dude named Gordon Soley.
Okay.
Older white dude. Where was I going with this? And of course, in ECW, it was Joey Styles and whoever the hell they put beside Joey Styles.
Joey Styles. Yeah.
Oh my God. You remember that shit?
Yeah. That was nuts. ECW was a whole nother thing, man.
It was.
A whole nother thing. I remember watching that.
Man, that organization was right place, right time, too, for them.
Let me ask you this question that I'm sure is not going through my mind. I'm sure people watching are thinking this exact same thing.
Right.
Rob Van Dam.
Yes.
I thought he was like related to Rob Van Dam. Is it just me, guys? Tell me in the comments. Dude. Hey, you're an idiot, Dan. Shut up. Stop saying. You know what? Shut this off now.
Oh, dude.
Did I not?
So check this out. The first time I showed a picture of RBD to my sister's first husband.
And he looks like him. That's the thing.
I showed him a picture of RBD, and he looks at me and he goes, "Damn, I guess John Claw's daddy got around." And RBD said on his podcast once, he was like, "Yeah, man, I used to get people coming up to me all the time, like, are you like his brother or something?" And I'm like, "Nah, dude." And he said that one time he was with his mom out somewhere. Out
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Somebody
asked
like,
Van Damme. Okay.
if Van Damme was related to him. He was like, if he is, she said something to the effect of, well, if he is, I must have missed that or something like that. Yeah, the resemblance was uncanny. The fact that they both did kickboxing.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Now let's do the Mount Rushmore for WWF.
All right, cool.
WWE for those.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
For those who started watching in 2003. Oh no! When did I think it was 2002 when they changed it
early
over.
2000s,
somewhere in there. All right, let me see. See, this one is a little bit easier because you can actually mix a little bit of old and new, or a little bit of, back in the day with a little bit of.
Can you though?
You know what I'm saying? In a sense. All right, so I got to go with Taker. Got to go with.
Thank you.
Even though he got booed out of Los Angeles, we would not be talking about WWF if it hadn't been for Hogan.
That's right. That's right. Hulkster.
And I got a lot of honorable mentions, but I'm going to end this off.
Val Venus? Hey, Val, we love you. Val, we love you. Hey, he was a crucial player in the Attitude Era, though.
He was, man. All right, so I'm going to end this off with two guys that actually faced each other at WrestleMania 13. I'm going to go Bret Hart. Oh, shit. I just gave it away.
Okay. Yeah, so Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
And Steve Austin.
Oh, I'm thinking WrestleMania. 12. That was just 12.
Yeah.
The Iron Man match.
Time won the belt, yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking when they put him in the sharpshooter, he's got blood coming down. You're right. That is 13.
Blood from a stone, yeah.
My fault. Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
All good. Now, like I said, I got a lot of honorable mentions. I could have put Savage on there. I could have put Rock on there. I could have put Triple H on there.
So Stone Cold, Bret Hart, Undertaker, and Hogan.
Hell, I could have put Andre in there.
Yeah, I mean, Andre was great, right? And he's a honorable mention, but I don't think he's, unfortunately, I don't. He's just not there for me.
Yeah, I got you. It was, I mean, and to be fair, he was more of an attraction than he was an actual in-ring talent.
Really? So you're not putting John Cena on there?
Nah, I can't do it. Not to say
stop this. Stop. No. I'm out. Okay, I'm out. Okay, stop right now. Stop. There's no way you do not put John Cena on the Mount Rushmore. So Mount Rushmore, here it is. I'm gonna tell you this right now, and I'm gonna explain why. Okay.
All right. I think I already know two of them.
Hogan.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Bret Hart.
Okay.
Undertaker.
Okay.
Cena.
All right.
Why? You want to know why?
Why?
Because that covers
all the eras.
Covers the eras.
Okay.
Now, earlier I said a Rock fan over Rock Stone Cold, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm talking the rivalry, Rock and Stone Cold. That's one of the top rivalries that I grew up with, right? We'll get into rivalries in a whole nother episode. Yeah. But Hogan started it all.
He did. He did.
Started it.
He really did.
Hogan left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
Then came a different breed
of
superstars.
Yep.
You're not looking for the super high jack guys no more. You're looking for the guys, the workers.
Yep.
The technical guys, the guys that are making it happen in ring.
Yep.
There's Bret Hart. Okay?
Yep.
You got Bret Hart. Right after that, Undertaker. Why do I put Undertaker over The Rock? Because again, I said Undertaker was my favorite wrestler of all time. And he was around the time at The Rock. That's why The Rock doesn't get on the Mount Rushmore. Yep. Taker he lived and breathed the business.
Yeah, you literally did.
He was the mentor for so many of the new guys coming in, right?
Still is.
When he was learning, when he was first there, he was learning what he can from the veterans.
Right.
Molding himself, building himself into a worker for the company. He is definitely the guy that's throwing the company on his back saying, hey,
definitely,
I'm doing this for you guys. Like, forget me, forget him, forget her, forget that person.
Yeah.
We are focused on WWF, WWE, the business. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
That's why he goes up there. And last but not least, John Cena because John Cena did the exact same thing, but now at a later time.
Yeah.
And he's a 16-time. 16. Hey, 16-time. What did I say? Hey, 16-time champ, baby. Okay? You don't get no better than that. Okay?
So, okay.
Waiting for them to give him number 17. I don't think it'll happen. I don't know, but if it does, hey, you'll see this around his shoulder, I guess, you know?
And I gotta clarify one thing. Or a couple of things actually. One, Cena's work ethic over the span of his run has been second to none. Nobody works like Cena. Inside the business and outside the business. Like I brought up the Make-A-Wish thing.
Okay.
And other charities that he's done, like the Susan Komen.
That's the other stuff, other
thing.
part we got to look at.
Yeah. The dude. So the other thing I wanted to jump into was the 16 world titles.
16, baby.
And I got to address this because there's so many that believe that Flair only had 16 world titles. The number 16.
Stop. I already know where you're going with this. I know what you're going to say.
You do? All right.
I know what he's going to say. It wasn't 16. It was more than. Let's hear it.
It was. Or rather, it is.
You know what? And I'm getting killed right now. They're saying, hey, shut up, D. Let him speak.
Flair himself has admitted that he has upwards of up to 24 title reigns. They said that Flair has 16 title reigns is because Vince wanted a number that realistically one of his talents could break over time. He thought that the actual number of title reigns was so ridiculous that he capsized it down to 16 in the hopes that one of his talents could be built up that way.
Okay, let me ask you.
That kind of makes sense now that Cena has 16 and Orton has 14. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Orton's getting up there. I don't think. Unfortunately, I don't think Orton. I don't think they'll put Orton up there to get.
He'll even Triple H got 14. Well, he's long since retired. So I just had to throw it. Now, don't get me wrong. 16 world title reigns is fucking great. It's 16 more than 90% of the industry is going to get.
Hold on.
Right?
It's great, but that also means you lost it 15 times.
That's true.
So is 16-time champ better than a 2-time champ or a 1-time champ? Or as Booker T would say, a 5-time?
And he's actually had it 6 times.
Champ?
But he had 5 WCW, 1 World Heavyweight as King Booker in WWE.
Okay.
I think it all depends on what you did with the title when you had the title.
Because I think who's the longest reigning champ? Roman Reigns, CM Punk, one of those guys?
Of the modern era, it was Roman Reigns. Of all time, it was Bruno Sammartino.
That's right. Bruno Sammartino. You're right.
So, and that was just one reign.
What do you have, like 800?
It was like 2,800 and some days.
Damn, 2,000. Wow, I'm way off.
Yeah, he had it for like 6 or 7 years or some shit. But
so
that's the reason why I say I think it depends on what you did with the belt when you had it.
So some could say that Bruno is hands down the greatest world champ ever.
People still say that.
Okay.
And they can. I mean, and he came up in a time where, like I said, motherfuckers was still traveling 400 days. Well, not
was he defending it every night?
365 a year. But the majority of his dates he was defending it.
That's crazy. Well then, hey.
And this is back in the day. This is also back in the day
discussion.
This is also back in the day too, where they defended world titles all around the world.
Okay.
So he was going to Japan. He was going to Europe. Probably Mexico, Canada. Okay. That was one of the things about and of course I could talk about the territories all day, but that's one of the things I miss about the whole territory system. Yeah. Because the NWA world champion, and I know that Bruno was the WWE champion. I'm just saying
was for that territory.
Right. But everything fell well. Actually, no. I think Vince succeeded from the NWA by then. But anyway, back then, world champions actually they didn't just defend the titles in their respective organizations. They actually did travel around and
other organizations.
Yeah, and
really?
They would do business dealings with other organizations.
Okay, no, I did not.
Yeah,
I thought it had to stay within their company and only compete against. Okay, that's good to know.
That's probably how you're thinking because it's been that way for so long.
Right.
But hell, even when Flair was.
Hence, is that the reason why they wanted Brett to drop the whole title before he left to WCW? Or
yeah,
okay,
yeah. So, and we can get into the screw job later too. I got a lot of shit to say about
the Montreal screw job. Hey, another episode.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned if you like this Wrestle Talk. But yeah, even when Flair, when guys like Flair and Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes, they were NWA champion. Shit, Flair was doing dates in All Japan, New Japan, stuff like that. He was doing dates down in Puerto Rico with the World Wrestling Council, Carlos Colon.
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying? Who was the father of Carlito and Primo, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You know. So do I need to replace Hogan for Flair on my Mount Rushmore?
Hey man.
Because if I recall, was Flair on your Mount Rushmore?
He was not.
He was not.
He was not. He should have been. No, wait a minute. He was on my WCW one.
He was on. Yeah, you're right. WCW.
Because we did one for WCW, one for WWF. He
was
right. on my WCW one, yeah. And he would have been on my NWA one too. We were talking that.
It's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.